We're starting at the baseline of the pinky on the karate chop point. We're underneath the line at the base of the pinky. Even though I feel so responsible for my siblings, and there's so much heaviness around that, right now I deeply love and completely accept myself. Right now, even though I feel so responsible for my siblings, and most often I feel like I've failed them, I love myself. I accept myself. Even though I feel so responsible for my siblings, and sometimes I just want to shut them out because I can't do it right anyway. I'm committed to loving myself. I accept my life, my journey, my place in the family system. And I'm willing to set myself free. We're going to the crown, doing one round of negative thoughts, just naming the reality. My family of origin system is a mess. Inner eyebrow. Because of my birth order and how I'm wired, I have felt so responsible for them. Outer eye. I have so wanted to help them and keep them from harm. Under the eye. That has felt like, and it seems to have been and be, an impossible task. Under the nose. Mostly I have felt that as my failure. I believe I should have prevented things. And please imagine or picture, say to yourself super specific things. Or the doozies. Under the clavicle. I have felt that I should have been there and made okay things that happened that I didn't prevent or could have prevented, couldn't have prevented. And have somehow still believed I should have prevented. The side of the ribs under the arm, where a hand's width under the base of the armpit, so tapping on the side of the ribs. I've gotten so many messages that I should have done better. Many of those messages have come from myself. Crown. There's just so much heaviness and failure and sorrow. I feel so bad sometimes when I think of the whole thing. It's no wonder I want to shut down sometimes when they show up. wanting something from me, and I've already messed up the whole thing so badly. Inner eyebrow. I really want to deconstruct this. Simplify it. Lighten it. Outer eye. I know I'm not in truth with all of this, or it just wouldn't feel so bad. Under the eye, there are genuine things to feel bad about that have happened to my siblings. Under the nose, I have been affected by their sorrow and despair. So have other siblings. They've affected one another. Chin point. I'd like to stop taking responsibility for all of this. Anytime you feel an impulse to take a deep breath, please do that. Under the collarbone round. Right now, I acknowledge very clearly to myself that there was trauma in my family of origin. Side of the ribs. And whether I could name it or not, I've been more aware of my siblings' trauma and less aware of mine. And right now I acknowledge mine without negating theirs. Crown point. And right now I want to acknowledge that the clusterfuck of my family of origin was not my doing. It wasn't my fault. It was never my responsibility to clean up or fix or make better for anyone. Inner eyebrow. Right now, I give this mess back to my parents. It was never mine to clean up their messes. I wasn't equipped to do that because nobody is. Outer eye. Right now, I welcome myself to the human race. Just right now, I release expecting from myself what nobody should expect of a kid growing up in a traumatized family. Under the eye. Right now, I forgive myself for what I wasn't able to prevent or make better or ensure. Under the nose. Right now, I acknowledge that all my siblings deserved better than what they got. And that doesn't mean I should have made it better. Chin point. Right now, I just send them love and blessings. I just feel my love for them without believing I should fix it. Under the clavicle round. Right now, I give that same love to myself. I breathe in compassion for myself. And I forgive myself for what was actually never something the universe held against me. Even if I have, even if others in the family have, even if anyone has or would. Side of the ribs. Right now, I acknowledge that most of my assessments have left out a lot of things, a lot of factors, a lot of realities, including my own trauma, including what a young person is supposed to know and be able to handle and manage. Crown point. Right now, I acknowledge how woven into my personality structure, maybe because of the family trauma, is a tendency to take responsibility for what isn't mine. Inner eyebrow. And just because it's a part of my personality doesn't make it my identity or something I'm stuck with. Outer eye. Right now, I'd like to believe that I'm not stuck with any of this. Under the eye, and my siblings are not stuck with any of this. Under the nose, I'm going to reach and say that at least a part of me can believe that anything can heal. Chin point. And that doesn't make grief go away. At least grief leaves and comes back. And that's okay. Under the clavicle round, I was never equipped to make everything okay for my siblings. Their journey was never mine to take on as fully as I've taken on my own journey. I didn't know that. It is innocent that I didn't know that. Side of the ribs. Right now, I release the family trauma. I don't need to declare how long it's going to take for us all to heal fully. Just right now, I release it. Crown point. I release false responsibility. I am responsible for myself, for what I know now, which could change at any given now depending on various factors. Inner eyebrow. I'd like to stop saying awful things to myself like you know better. You should be doing better. You should have done more. You should still be doing more. You should know what to do. You should be more available. Outer eye. Right now I call out the lie of all of that. Right now I release every should. There's no should. There's no clear concept that's a universal law around any of this. Under the eye, I know I've learned some things. I know I have some tools for self-soothing, for clearing the mind, for calming anxiety. Under the nose. I'd like to use those tools more often, more consistently, more effectively. And I've already gotten better, and I can get better still. Chin point. And I'd like to not give myself hell when I don't use my tools, when I forget them, when I get overwhelmed again, when I forget what is and isn't mine, when I just can't. Right now, I forgive myself in advance. Right now, I send love to my future self. Under the clavicle. I'm a good person. I really care. I'm so aware of the pain on the planet. I'd love to fix it, and I can't. And I was never supposed to. And I am not a superhero. And I was never supposed to be. Side of the ribs. But I'm actually a beautiful human being. I'm actually really amazing. I actually have so much love to give. And I have given it. And when I can't, it's just an old thing inside me that needs to heal. And it's just the pain of the earth, its people, and other sentient beings, including my siblings. Crown point. So I'd like to soothe myself and take care of myself when I'm off. I'd like to reach for whatever tool I need to reach for to get my alignment back, to ground again, to breathe again, to bring my nervous system down. Inner eyebrow. I really want to be present for my siblings. And there's no way I can always be. Outer eye. There's no way I can even have some concept of how often or how much I should be. That changes depending on life factors. Under the eyes. Sometimes I've really understood that. Especially when something so hard was going on in my life. That it would be obvious to any fool that this is not the time to give out more. Under the nose, I'd like to lower that bar. I'd like to not have any ideas about how much I should give or do or know. How much I should be available. Chin point. I'd like to be a rock star of self-care, self-honoring, self-love, using the tools that soothe me and bring me back to alignment and keep me aligned more often for more of the time. Under the clavicle round. And I actually know when I feel aligned and grounded. And those would be the times still with a check-in, still checking in with myself. those aligned moments would be the time to support my siblings. Side of the ribs. I really like it when I'm present. And I'd like to acknowledge I can only do them good when I'm present. And I'd like to stay present with myself when I seek to be present with them. Crown point. And then I'll get information in real time about my capacity. I'd like to get really good at knowing when it's time to say yes or no. Or I only have a couple of minutes for you, but I'm right here, right now. Or I just drop in with them, open, because I can in that moment for real. Or I thought I was doing that, and then something in my body or heart or mind shows me that I'm done. I'm going to have to keep releasing, wanting to fix it all. I'm willing to catch myself there again. I'm willing to release it again. I'm willing to soothe myself again. And maybe as I really allow myself to heal and live as my most aligned self I'm capable of right now, maybe I can do a whole lot more good for my siblings. Now drop your hands down and cup one inside the other. Just breathe. Feeling the breath, sensing it, following it. Feel the sensations in the body, the reverberations of the tapping. And just check in, is there anything I said during the tapping that made an inner blip, a little hiccup? I felt a wall, I felt an obstacle, I felt a contraction. And as I acknowledge that, I am open to further work with that. Maybe more tapping, maybe other processes. And right now I'm just going to write it down and release it. Thank you for practicing with me. Please know your own beauty. Be responsible for your own self. And know that you are healing.